Hey guys, it's Matthew Hussey here. I've put together a video for you using Q and a material from my Get the Guy tour. As many of you know, I'm currently touring across the United States. We're doing 10 cities. I wanted to make sure that, whether you can make it to the tour or not, you still have access to something valuable. I know many of you have already booked tickets, but for those who haven't been able to come this time around, I've got a little cue and a session that will give you insight and strategies you can apply even from home. If you're still on the fence about attending, hopefully watching this helps you make a decision, because as you'll see, it's dynamic, it's fun, and we're giving away so much great value. Thank you so much. This is my way of over-delivering and giving you something extra. And for those of you who are coming to the tour, I promise, you won't regret it. It's truly a special experience, and I'm really excited. Enjoy the video, and as always, I'd love to hear your questions and what you'd like to know. 1. When he comes and goes, I've been dating a guy for 5 months. I get invested again, and then he disappears for a month, and then he comes back. So you've got a guy who's blowing hot and cold. He invests in the relationship, but as soon as you start investing back, he disappears again. Here's my philosophy. So many women settle for seeing a guy one night a week, or for just a few hours. And they end up thinking, I just want to see him more. To that I say, why would you settle for happiness one night a week? You may really enjoy that night, but ask yourself, is that the kind of relationship you want? You really think I'm going to settle for one night a week? Screw that, I want happiness 7 nights a week, too. I can do it myself. Femininity and vulnerability I come across as hard and unapproachable, but I'm not actually like that. You're projecting strength, and maybe that strength is keeping men at arm's length. You said you can do it yourself. Sure, you're a strong woman, of course, you can do it yourself, but that's not the point. Ask yourself, what kind of man do I want to attract? You said masculine, right? Well, masculine men want to feel needed in a relationship, not because you're incapable, but because it brings balance and polarity. A strong woman doesn't need to prove her strength. In fact, the strongest women allow themselves to be served, not because they can't do something, but because they're secure enough not to have to prove it. 3. Don't let past hurt define you. I've been hurt before, and I'm scared of being hurt again. That fear is understandable, but when someone shows a behavior that reminds you of that hurt, your alarm bells go off and you shut down. The result, he feels disconnected and the relationship suffers. The real question is, what kind of woman do you want to be in this world? You will meet someone again, and maybe that person will test your strength. Maybe he'll even betray your trust. You'll feel validated for thinking, I knew I shouldn't have opened up, but at that moment you have a choice. Is this the moment you shrink, or is this where you rise? Because being strong when you've never been hurt is easy. Being strong after you've been hurt, that's real courage. 4. Should you only date one person at a time? People often ask, should I only date one person at a time? Practically speaking, it depends. If I'm a guy and I find out you're sleeping with other guys at the same time you're dating me, my attraction might drop. You can date multiple people, that's your choice, but when you find someone you genuinely like, be prepared to focus on them. When you do that, you show emotional availability, and you give the connection a real chance to develop. Enjoy your options. Use them to remind yourself that you're attractive and valuable. But when someone special comes along, don't dilute that connection with distractions. 5. How to ask if someone has a partner. If I'm hitting it off with someone in a group setting, how do I know if they have a girlfriend? You don't want to waste your time, right? So be direct. Ask them casually. It doesn't have to be awkward. Smile and say something like, so, do you have someone special back home? It's better to find out early than to invest hours of your time only to discover they're taken. People often enjoy the attention and they'll tell you at the last minute. Don't let that happen. Ask early, with confidence and clarity. 6. Attracting the wrong guys doesn't mean something's wrong with you. I met a stalker. I also met a guy who turned out to be married. It made me question myself. Let me say this clearly. Attractive people attract attention, from the good and the bad. You're going to meet some wrong guys. That's part of the process. But why would that affect your confidence? That doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. You're already doing more than most women. Most people aren't doing anything. They're not putting themselves out there. They're not being proactive. So you're already in the top 10%. If you're refining your judgment and actively learning, you're already in the top 1%. Your competition, they're not doing anything. They're sitting at home. You're already winning by showing up, asking questions, being intentional. Keep going. Final thoughts go out tonight and just observe. A whole lot of men and women not talking to each other. Everyone's waiting for someone else to make the first move, so when you step up, when you speak, engage, and connect, you stand out. Most women aren't even trying. If you're proactive, you're already winning. And remember, confidence doesn't mean never being hurt. It means knowing how to move forward even after you've been hurt. Thank you so much.